singing our hymn of love, to pledge ourselves anew to that high cause of greater understanding of who we are and what in us is true. We would be one in living for each other, to show to all a new community. Us on our way. As one we pledge ourselves to greater service, with love and justice strive to make us free. Oh, make us free.
You've heard the love story, haven't you? You've heard his love story.
Okay, I'm up. Good morning. I'm going to do the bowl first. Good morning, friends in the sanctuary and those watching later on YouTube. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Franklin, into the mountains of western North Carolina and northeast Georgia. We are a lay-led congregation of progressive minds and caring connections, celebrating our 50th anniversary. All who come with open minds and kind hearts are welcome. My name is Robbie Greenberg. I am pleased to be your service leader today, along with Mary Teslow. I am joined this morning by our Sunday service team, Becky Thorndike as the Sanctuary House Manager. Sanctuary Tech Support is Warren Riley, Bruce Brandsma, and Ian. Sorry, I forgot your last name. Our greeter is Bonnie Gramlich, and hospitality is Brenda Marsh. Announcements. For the common good of those in the sanctuary, we are required to be fully vaccinated and boosted, and are required to wear a mask other than when presenting or for medical reasons. When there is singing, please sing softly to reduce any risk. Also, we have a bowl for donations at the entryway. Do we have any church-related announcements? Brenda.
There is now a hospitality copy host sign-up sheet downstairs on the bulletin bulletin board. So if you'd like to host our coffee hour on Sunday, please feel free to sign up. Sorry, that probably sounds terrible on the recording. A non-church but semi-church related announcement is that the Listening Room concert series will move to our beautiful sanctuary for future concerts. Chuck Brodsky will perform Sunday afternoon, November 13th. For community-related announcements, please be sure to check the UUFF to keep up to date. Our fellowship is a light for liberal religion in the mountains that values diversity and the richness that it brings to our community. Our celebration of diversity is reflected in the variety of our Sunday services. We hope that today's service enriches your journey. Our opening words are by Katie Romano Griffin. Come, let us enter this space of hope and community. Come, let us enter this space with our sorrows, our joys, our passion and compassion. Come, let us enter this space with the stories of our ancestors, for their strength and wisdom beats in our hearts. Come into this space, present to the beloved companions who move beside us. Come unto this space, mindful that together we are building a future for other generations. Come into this space and let us worship. The chalice lighting this morning is by Odette Fulbright Folsom. This light we kindle is set in the lamp of our history. We inherit this free faith from the brave and gentle, fierce and outspoken hearts and minds that have come before us. Let us be worthy inheritors of this faith, and through our good works, pass it boldly to a new generation. I often say that life is what happens to us while we're busy making plans. Today's service was beautifully planned to include Friction Farm in person. But COVID stepped in and separated us. Fortunately, technology allows us to welcome them virtually. About Friction Farm, many years ago, Aiden and Christine performed in a rock band. A friend who was a member of the South Florida folk community heard them in a bar and suggested that they might consider going acoustic and presenting themselves as a folk duo. Both adamantly responded that they weren't folk and wondered why he even thought that that would work. His reply was, "You have great lyrics. Wouldn't you like people to hear what you have to say?" The rest is history. Friction Farm is a husband and wife team of traveling troubadours. They combine storytelling, social commentary, and humor to create songs of everyday life, local heroes, and quirky observations. Having found their way to Unitarian Universalism, they now present Sunday services with the wonderful qualities that they put into their music. We now turn the service over to Friction Farm.
I invite you to sing with us as you are willing and able. Good morning. Thank you for being here. We really wish that we could be with you in the room today, but trust me, you do not want to be in a room with us today. You know the old saying, when's the best time to plant a tree? 50 years ago. And when's the second best time to plant a tree? Today. 50 years ago, someone or several someones planted this tree. It's a big deal to have a fellowship endure for 50 years. And it's a huge accomplishment to do that as a lay-led fellowship. But it was done. And now you get to enjoy the shade of this building, this community, this fellowship today. So you don't necessarily need to plant a tree, do you? Or do you? We don't need to trust the wisdom of some old proverb. We can turn to the experts. I have oak trees on my land. Lots of them. And most of these trees are about 100 years old in an average lifespan of 275 years. Some are really healthy and some less so. Yet every year they all produce acorns. Some years the critters eat most of them. Birds and squirrels and bears, they get their protein and fat and carbohydrates from the acorns. And some years the weather is just flat out wrong for the sprouting and growth of acorns. But some years the acorns find just the right conditions on the ground, and they sprout and they grow. But the trees, they never worry about it. They produce what they can every year. They sow the seeds and they trust that one day the conditions will be just right. And if not, at least they're providing a little nutrition no matter what. Are you sowing seeds? the seeds of respect, equity, and compassion, the seeds of our principles. It isn't always easy. We're a lot closer to the ground than the oak trees. So we witness every little seed that refuses to grow. And it can take a toll on our spirit. But we never really know when the conditions are going to be right in somebody's mind or somebody's heart to really embrace an idea. So like the trees, we just need to keep sowing seeds. Talk the talk, walk the walk, live our values. Don't worry about it. Do what you can, because some seeds will sprout when the conditions are right.
Spread a little sunshine, be a ray of light. You can make the darkest day seem a little bright. Spread a little sunshine, be a ray of light. No time like the present to make the future bright. Got a new pair of pants with no holes in the pockets. Got a few coins in there and I like the way they sound. Every song sounds better when everybody sings along. Gonna spread those coins around. Spread a little sunshine, be a ray of light. You can make the darkest day seem a little bright. Spread a little sunshine, be a ray of light. No time like the present to make the future bright. Like a magic trick, those coins find hands they need. It takes so little to stand on solid ground. A little bit of independence brings so much peace of mind. Gonna spread that joy around. Spread a little sunshine, be a ray of light. You can make the darkest day seem a little bright. Spread a little sunshine, be a ray of light. No time like the present to make the future bright. Well, now the thing about joy is it's hard to contain. Once it's on the move, no telling where it's bound. You know we'll all feel better when we all feel better. Gonna spread that love around. There's enough to go around. Spread a little sunshine, be a ray of light. You can make the darkest day seem a little bright.
I realize that my forest does more to thrive than just sow seeds. Every time I take a walk, I see branches on the ground. And the trees look healthy, but even a healthy tree has some troubled branches. Perhaps they get scratched up in the wind, or an overeager squirrel chews through the bark and lets in some disease. But the trees, they just let it go. A little natural pruning that lets the tree nurture its core and promote new growth. If you're like me, pruning is emotionally hard, especially when things seem so vital and full of life. But it's better for the tree in the long run. And it's better for us too. So we take on a new project that doesn't really produce new growth, or we walk down a new path that takes too much energy away from our core mission. And those mistakes are tough on us. We try to hang on to things even when they don't serve our community or our mission. But look at the trees. They don't blame an unhealthy branch. They let it go. They let it fall to the earth, where its energy will be taken back in and used for growth somewhere else. Sometimes the old trees trick us. A couple of years ago, there was a big storm. 3/4 of an inch of rain fell in 15 minutes. And then there were big gusts of wind. 2 oak trees came down, and they were huge, probably 2 feet in diameter. And they seemed strong and healthy. But the prior year, we had had twice the average annual rainfall. And even that life-giving water can become overwhelming. The trees were already stressed. They had been fighting all year, but the rains had been relentless. They were tired and worn down. Does that sound familiar to anyone? So tree roots are intermingled, and that helps them to withstand the wind together. But a group of trees who have been subjected to the same stress across time may in fact fall together. Not unlike a neighborhood experiencing its second 100-year flood in just a decade, or a town who's been economically blighted for years on end, or a fellowship facing a pandemic when they're trying to grow. Sometimes we could all fall down together. Our big trees, they took some saplings down when they fell. There were some signs that we had missed. The canopy looked good, but the earth around the trees had collapsed a bit, indicating some root damage. And there were some invasive plants moving in, but we didn't notice that until after the trees fell. Everything just seemed okay. But we should have just known that nothing can carry all of that weight alone. Every community is just like our forest. Every community. The stalwarts on whom you can always rely, they carry a heavy burden, and they often don't show the stress that they feel. We have to share the load, like trees with intertwined roots. And we have to tend those roots, making sure they're not overwhelmed, because even productive, positive effort takes its toll.
On a narrow passage just above the James, the first week of November, the leaves were red with change. Bitter wind blew from the east, cold steel through my heart, in a storm of angry voices. How can the healing start? Take comfort from the tall trees. They survive the cold. They can spread their branches because their roots took hold. Because their roots took hold. I will gather up my tools to do the work that must be done. Build a place of refuge where all my friends can come. They will fill the house with kindness. It will overflow with love. We'll have everything we need to rise above. Take comfort from the tall trees. They survive the cold. They can spread their branches because their roots took hold. In time, all of our neighbors will see what we've created. Marvel at what's made by those who loved instead of hated. Will we lock our doors as others once had done, or see they're on a narrow passage, their journey's just begun? Take comfort from the tall trees. They survive the cold. They can spread their branches because their roots took hold. Because their roots took hold.
want to share one last lesson from my forest: the benefits of diversity. The biologic behavior of trees has recently been dubbed as trees talking to each other and cooperating with other plants. And that sounds nice. False, but nice. Trees do what trees need to do to survive, to spread seeds, to ensure the survival of their species. I've read that a single maple tree might drop as many as 1 million seeds in its lifespan, resulting in one tree that reaches maturity. The forest floor is a war zone, but a diverse biosphere is beneficial to the trees. A variety of plants will use soil nutrient more efficiently. Short plants help prevent topsoil runoff. A variety of animal life protects from a spectrum of pests. So trees promote diversity, not because they're altruistic or cooperating with other plants, but because a diverse community is good for them and essential to their survival. And of course, that's good for us too. Different ages, different backgrounds, different abilities. That helps us to adapt to a changing world. We were at a UU in Atlanta, and they sing a hymn in English and in Spanish every week. And I looked around and I did not see any obviously Hispanic people in the room. So I asked the choir director about it. And he told me that the local Latino population is growing and they want to make sure that they feel welcome. So they sing in Spanish every week. And he doesn't know if any Hispanic family will ever walk through their doors. But if they do, they'll know that they're welcome. Waiting for them to arrive to make any change is just too late. Being welcoming to a growing population isn't just a nice thing to do. It's essential for long-term survival. 50 years ago, a tree was planted right here. A seed was sown, a community nurtured it, it grew and thrived. You should celebrate the rare wonder of that. You should have cake, you should sing. I hope you're celebrating. And because you care about this tree or any tree or community or concept, celebrate it every day by sowing seeds for the future and pruning to ensure good growth. Celebrate by fostering the diversity necessary to renew your core and tending to the roots to keep it standing. Celebrate by helping to adapt and survive in a changing world.
Nothing's gonna get clean around here if I don't do my part. I got a little work to do. I guess I better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. Got a little work to do around my yard. Weeds growing everywhere make tomatoes work too hard. Nothing good will ever grow around here if I don't do my part. I got a little work to do. I guess I better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. Got a little work to do around my town. Cracks in public buildings might bring this whole thing down. Nothing's gonna get fixed around here if I don't do my part. I got a little work to do. I guess I better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. Never thought I'd measure up much with just two small hands and a personal touch. I looked around for goodness sake. One more little push might be all it takes. We got a little work to do around this place. You and me together might be all it takes. We can set things right round here if we do our part. We got a little work to do. I guess we better start. We got work to do. I guess we better start. We got work to do. I guess we better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. And you got work to do. I guess you better start. We got work to do. We've got work to do. We've got work to do.
What a joy for us to have this wonderful message from Aiden and Christine. We will share your applause and our deep appreciation with them and hope to have them with us in person before too very long. Some trees are intentionally planted, some are volunteers, and all are precious, as we've just heard. When our beautiful round sanctuary was sited, there was a large white oak that had to be removed. That tree and the fellowship's commitment to the environment were honored by milling it to become the wall behind me that you view every Sunday. It continues to inspire us today. Our offering words. We come together because we love what exists in this fellowship. This community is a living entity, and like all living entities, it must have nurture and sustenance. Its breath and its heartbeat, its life itself, can only be derived from its living components, from us. All offerings of time, talent, and treasure are received with deep appreciation. Our offering is our beloved 123, Spirit of Life.
Let's take a walk. how grand to use both Spanish and English after Christine invited us to do that. We now have a story to be shared by Don Erickson.
In a time long ago, in a land far away, a community decided to build a church. So they gathered around a site they chose, and Jonah said, "We need to build our church on a solid rock foundation." So they went out and they found a rock, and they brought it to the site, and they all gathered around. And they said, "That is a very sturdy rock, but it's not big enough. We need a larger rock." So they took that one away, and they went out and searched the countryside. And they found a large rock, a huge rock, and they brought it to the site. And they all gathered around. And Jonah said, "That rock is sturdy. It's large enough to build a church on, but it's not the right shape. Our church would look funny sitting on that rock." So they hauled it away. And they searched the countryside for a better rock. And after a long time, they found it, and they brought it to the site. And they all stood around it. And they looked at it, and Jonah said, "That is a good sturdy rock to build a church on. And the shape is right to build a church on. But the color's not right. It would make our church look silly." So they hauled the rock away. And to this day, they're still looking for a rock to build their church on. But in a neighboring community, they also wanted to build a church. And they found a spot, and they gathered. And Sarah said, "We need a rock foundation that will support our church." So they went out and they found a rock, and they brought it back to the site, and they all gathered around. And Sarah said, "That is a good rock, but it's not big enough." So they went out and they got more rocks. And they brought the rocks back, and they laid them side by side and end to end to form a foundation. And they all gathered around the foundation, and they noticed that all the rocks were of different size, and they were of different shapes, and they were of different colors. And Sarah said, "This is a good foundation so we can build our church." And they did. And those church services are still going on to this day. And from time to time, you'll see an adult bending down to talk to a youth and pointing at a rock and saying, "I placed that rock there long ago." And the youth looked up to the adult and said, "Someday I'm going to plant one just like that."
Don, thank you for that beautiful gift. Now I'd like to invite Bonnie Cranwick for the new members ceremony, and then we'll be followed by Joyce and Concerns.
Technical question. Do you still want me to speak from the lectern or down?
Here for new members, and then there for Joyce and Concerns.
Thank you. Wow, it's so nice to see you all here. It gives me so much pleasure to stand here. I'd like to go ahead and invite our new members. As I call your name, would you come up and stand in this area behind me, please, facing everyone? Bruce Ransma. This way. Carson. Heads up, these are alphabetical. Robbie Greenberg. Marcy Lacouture would be staying here if she could. She's not been feeling well. Brenda Marsh. Yeah, you don't have to stand in it. And Megan Vanderlyn. Travis Vaughn is also a member that has joined since we had our last welcoming ceremony, and he is in Atlanta, unable to be here. I gotta do this. I gotta turn around. You need to get closer. Get closer?
That's closer.
Okay. I'd like to ask all of you today to join me in extending a special welcome.
You gotta squeeze between the blue lines so they can see you on the future.
Perfection is way overrated. Anyway, they recently joined our fellowship as members. And as I already said, I'm pleased to be here. I'm really thrilled to welcome you all. Especially during this time of celebrating our 50th year.
Woohoo!
I've been here about 23 years from when we used to meet in this little house over here. And the process of visioning what we would like, and not just physically, but people. So I'm happy to be here. This was a short presentation as I rehearsed it, but now that I'm ad-libbing, I'm a little longer. I would also like to extend my welcome this morning to everyone that is present today. Your attendance and the light you bring to our community is a gift we truly value. Thank you. I was going to also go on with the words of a centering, but it turns out Robbie included that in our service today. So I'm going to say some more words that are these. We welcome you as once we were welcomed ourselves. We seek to be open and inclusive, respecting your inherent dignity, your ideas, and your vision. In times when it is easy and in times when it is difficult. We seek to be supportive, not only when you reach out encourage to us, but also when you need us to reach out to you. In return, we ask that you recognize our humanity. We will not always live up to our ideals. I know this is very true. And when we fall short, we invite you to stay in relationship with us and help us more fully bring alive the spirit of love. I'd like to share a reading or thinking about our UU covenants. It inspires and motivates me to be a better person, to make a positive contribution where and when I can. And I'd like to share this brief story about Hosea Ballou that was discussed in our recent Build Your Own Theology course that we took here that was facilitated by Don and Robbie. Here it goes. Hosea Ballou, that 19th century Universalist preacher, this is before we were youths, was riding the circuit in the New Hampshire hills with a Baptist minister one afternoon. They argued theology as they traveled. At one point, the Baptist looked over and said, "Brother Ballou, if I were a Universalist and feared not the fires of hell, I could hit you over the head, steal your horse and saddle, and ride away, and I'd still go to heaven." Hosea Ballou looked over at him and said, "If you were a Universalist, the idea would never occur to you." His response to the Baptist minister it does capture the essence of living our UU values. So please accept our heartfelt welcome to each of you to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Franklin. And I'd like you to accept a small gift, which is a physical token of our welcome. If you'd like to take one and pass it in. Sorry, it's not chocolate, but it is a simple pen, and it may help you to remember to let your light shine. We see and recognize the light in each other. Thank you for bringing your own light, your own self, into our community. We are very grateful. Now I invite our new members to kindly repeat after me in unison these affirmations relating to our UU covenants. I'm going to just say this first line. You don't have to. Well, you can repeat it. In fellowship and love, we unite.
Fellowship and love, we unite.
To cultivate respect and appreciation.
To cultivate respect and appreciation.
To promote spiritual growth and ethical commitment.
To promote spiritual growth and ethical commitment.
To respect each other's needs and those of humanity.
To respect each other's needs and those of humanity.
To celebrate our own existence and the special moments of life's passages.
To celebrate our own existence and the special moments of life's passages.
The longest one is last, so I'll break it up.
Break it up.
To honor the mystery and magnificence
To honor mystery and magnificence
of our vast cosmos from the macro to the micro,
of our vast cosmos from the macro to the micro
and everything in between.
and everything in between.
And I invite everyone present today, please join me in this congregational response to our new members. If you'll repeat after me, kindly. With great joy, we welcome you to this community.
With great joy, we welcome you to this community.
And we celebrate the journey we take together.
And we celebrate the journey we take together.
In closing, consider central to our foundation and purpose is to share hospitality and welcome wherever and whenever possible. We suspect that there are many unchurched people who might find meaning in our UU principles and messages. We encourage you to take the time to listen, engage, and grow in our fellowship. And don't keep us a secret. Let your light shine wherever you go. Thank you. Welcome. I learned a long time ago to channel my nervousness into enthusiasm, so that was really a wonderful, positive experience for me, and I hope for everyone. At this time, I'd like to ask if there are any visitors for the first time today, or people that haven't been here in a while that would like to stand up and introduce yourselves to the community. You don't have to. Okay, all right, and if you would rather not now, maybe you can join us hopefully downstairs later and get to meet some folks. We're going to move on with the important part of our service weekly, and that is an invitation to anyone. Usually it's present or on Zoom, but in this case today, there's no Zoom. So anyone here today that has a personal I know you join me in feeling sorrow at what happened and feeling for the plight they still face today in many respects. I'll put a rock in for them. Anyone else before I leave?
Thank you, Bonnie. We close this week of celebration recalling the words of the Reverend Dr. Peter Rabel. We build on foundations we did not lay. We warm ourselves by fires we did not light. We sit in the shade of trees we did not plant. We drink from wells we did not dig. We profit from persons we did not know. This is as it should be. Together we are more than any one person could be. Together we can build across the generations. Together we can renew our hope and faith in the life that is yet to unfold. Together we can heed the call to a ministry of care and justice. We are ever bound in community. May it always be so. We extinguish the chalice, but not our gratitude for those who created this liberal religious home, that we may have a beloved community. We carry this light forward with our commitment to be good stewards for those who come after us. Before we have our closing circle and covenant, we thank you so much for joining us today. You're invited to join us for a special picnic and ice cream social celebrating our 50th anniversary. Please find your way downstairs to Celebration Hall and be seated at the tables. We'll share grace before we begin our meal. And now we circle our round sanctuary and join hands for our closing circle and covenant. And then we will recite our covenant together.
Thank you.
Oh, we're getting it. All right.
The circle's getting bigger.
Isn't that great? There we go. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and community is its goal. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. So may it be. May it be.